Hey everybody, welcome back to TechOdyssey. So I'm here today to talk about the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 2 10 months later. Can you believe it's been almost a year already? I was looking and I thought the phone came out in August. I got it a little confused with the Z Flip 5G. This guy right here came out in September and a lot has happened since then. And I've been through a lot with this phone. I've been through cases, I've been through screen protectors, I've been through having to send it in and get it worked on because there was a bad pixel line in the screen, so my screen has been replaced. So 10 months later, I kind of want to talk about this. Was it worth it? I mean, was it worth the money that I've spent on it? Is it the future? I mean, is this a working model moving forward? Is this something that you should pick up? I mean, should you be considering the Fold 2 or the Fold 3? Yeah, there's a lot of different things I kind of want to talk about around this phone. And it's very revolutionary. It's a very, very interesting phone. It brings a lot to the table. And I mean, I got to tell you, this gigantic screen, there's nothing like it out in the phone world, at least here in the States. I mean, you can pick up like the Mi Mix Fold or whatever it's called over in China, or you can get the Huawei one, but this is like the most mainstream one in the world, and it's more affordable than ever. So, I don't know. Lots of different things I want to talk about in this video, but before we get into that, I do want to say if this is your first time stopping by the channel, thank you for being here. If you enjoy the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button, and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. Let's talk about the Fold 2. So I don't want to bore you and talk, like this is not going to be a big spec showdown. I mean, everybody knows what's in it. It's got the Snapdragon 865 Plus, 120 hertz refresh rate. It's got this gigantic screen on it. It folds, it closes. You've got flex mode so you can watch your videos. You can use the front screen and all that stuff so you can take your selfies with it. There are a lot of neat things that it can do. And I think it's only going to get better. Now, this one, I got it probably about 2 weeks after launch day. The reason being, I was on the fence about it. I am not 100% on this form factor. I like the flip form factor better. But I'm an addict, and I can't help myself, so I ended up getting it. And I did something that I wish I didn't do now. And it fully worked. Like, it worked 100% because I still have this stupid phone. So, the original Fold, I bought it outright. And then I was like, well, the prices dropped so much, I ultimately ended up selling it later on when I got this one. But I took a huge chunk in the pants on it. I mean, that was such an expensive phone, $2,000. So I thought this time, since I don't like it that much, I'll go ahead and finance it. And look, normal people don't have these kind of issues. It's because I review stuff. I like to have the latest and greatest. I like to have all of them so I can cover them and bring videos to you guys. So if I didn't do that, I would have just bought this one cash. And once I got tired of it, I would have got rid of it. So I've still got it despite the fact I don't use it very often. But I financed it. I'm like, I'll finance this one. And that way, since I'm stuck paying on it every month, I'll keep it and I won't get rid of it. It's worked. I mean, I'm too lazy to go pay it off and sell it and then get the money and then whatever. So I like this phone a lot. I really do. Do I like using it as a daily driver? No, I really don't. I've made another video about that. My problem is the way I use my phones, I don't sit there and open and close the phone like 500 times a day. And I don't just leave it out open with the screen open. So very seldom, unless I'm sitting down, unless I'm parked, unless I'm like laying in bed or I'm doing something like gaming, the big screen is not open that much. A lot of times I'm just picking it up. It's a fleeting moment. I'm replying to a text. I'm looking at a notification. I put it back down. It's just the nature of how I use my phones. So I like to have more real estate, like on this guy right here, the S21 Ultra, all the time, as opposed to I'm continually using the front screen because I don't like to have to pick it up and open it all the time. Now, the Flip is a little bit different. You know, the Flip, of course, it has no functional screen on the outside you can really do anything with, so you have to open it up. I like the clamshell effect. I like that it has a really small profile. It's just really unique. Like, I like the Flip design better than I like the Fold. But hey, that's why we have all these designs. Everybody has their own personal preference. That's why there's Mexican food. That's why there's Italian food. That's why there's American fare. Whatever you want, go get what makes you happy. So I find that I think it's been pretty durable over the last 10 months. Like, the hinge is still in good shape. I haven't had any problems with it. It still holds the positions that I want it to, so I haven't had any issues. It seems like it's pretty durable. I had the original Fold, and what I didn't like about it was that floppy hinge. And then whenever you would lock it into place, it seemed like you had to apply a little bit of extra pressure to get this, like, the screen completely flat. This one, it's not like 1,000% flat, but it's like 990% flat. So This one, you don't feel like that way when you use it. I think they did a good job, a better job constructing this one. You can still see the little gap there. I mean, it's not completely flat. There's a little bit of an angle. I've had this really expensive half a case on my phone from Samsung since I bought it. I had like $50 in Samsung credit, so I got it. I think I paid like $27. I actually like it. And I started off with like the traditional case. You put the plastic one on the front. Here's the problem with those cases. They put these protective borders around the screen, and then it makes it more difficult to swipe. So I was having problems, like especially like the Rinky one. It scratched the crap out of my phone, pardon my language. I have tons of microabrasions from that case. I had another case that scratched it on the other side. Please avoid those plastic cases. Those little chintzy, dirt $15 cases you find on Amazon. Resist the urge. The only one I think that's worthwhile is the Spigen one. The Spigen one's very good. This one right here, this leather case, it works fine because it's only protecting the back. So when you place the phone down, you're pretty much just setting it on the back. If you put a screen protector on the front, you're fine. You're not protected from drops though. But overall, I laughed and I ridiculed this like $70 case when it originally came out because I'm like, it's not even a full case. I mean, really, it's not even a full case. But after using it and understanding how it works and the principle behind it, it doesn't get in the way of opening and closing it. It works just fine. And I like it. The leather's good. Samsung has really good leather. I love the leather they use on their cases. So durability-wise, I think it's fine. Beware of the accessories, but holding up over the year, the only problem I had was the screen. So I had this red line that went across my screen when I opened it up, and I sent it in, they replaced it. I had my phone back in like 3 days. So much better than the response I had with my Z Flip 5G. But you get that Samsung Premier concierge service. You have a dedicated line to call. There's somebody there. They speak English. They're very helpful, and you can get it sorted out. They'll send you they'll give you an envelope like next day to send it in. Well, not next day, like next day delivery. Like you can print it out when you get off the phone. It's already in your email. So the process is really good. I have a lot of faith in it, despite the issues I had with my Z Flip 5G. I've got videos on that. They completely ruined my Z Flip. But this one, the process worked as it was intended. Maybe I didn't have it 3 or 4 days. They fixed it. They sent it back. Brand new screen. I didn't pay anything. I didn't have to pay the deductible because it was a defect. See, the $150 one-time screen replacement is for if you damage it. If there's a defect, then they should replace it for free. And they did. I didn't cause the red line. There was clearly no damage. Using this phone has been fun, especially when I first got it. Like, the honeymoon phase on this phone is like no other phone that I've ever had before. You really enjoy it. One, it's one of those things when you first get it, and like you feel kind of like you're showing off a little bit because you walk out and people have seen these. They know it's a $2,000 phone. So you're like, hold on, let me check this real quick. Let me get my phone pulled out. And people are like, oh, is that the new Fold? It's one of those exciting moments. It's like if you go get a Lexus, you get a BMW, you go get this fancy car and everybody sees it and they're like, whoa, dude, that's really nice. So that's fun. And then it's really nice having this gigantic screen. It's perfect for gaming. It's great for media consumption. And it gives you kind of the effect of having a tablet, but you don't have all the luggage that goes along with it, the big gigantic tablet. So you get all the viewing real estate, you get all the extra space for playing. It's got a plastic screen. Now, you have this crease in the middle, and that's what does that. It's a plastic screen. It folds in on itself. This is crazy technology, folks. And I expect it to only get better. I'm hoping that over time that it gets really, really good. I'm not a engineer or anything. I don't do this crazy stuff. I just buy it and I look at it and I go, this is some cool stuff. And yeah, it's nice. I really love using it like this. One of my biggest complaints about tablets is when you use them, I like to type and communicate a lot. It's so hard to type on those big screens, even with split screen. This one, you fire it up, you can type so well on here. Like, it's so easy to type. You get this big landscape keyboard. It's really nice. And this is Gboard. They have like the split option one with the Samsung. So like half the keyboard's on one side and half the keyboard's on the other side. I've used both of them. I prefer Gboard. But from a day-to-day perspective, the battery life, 4,500 milliamps, it should get you through the day. It used to last longer. Then they came out with One UI, 3.1 that we're using now. And it seems like the battery life has degraded some. But when I first got it, first couple of months, it seemed like it lasted pretty good. Lately, I don't know, maybe it's just me. It's not like the battery's degraded. I think it's a One UI thing. And that's just the Samsung phones across the board. One UI kills battery. Super powerful. You can do everything you want. It's got 3 12-megapixel cameras on the back. I hope with the Z Fold 3 they go the extra mile with that and they give us some more like more impressive camera hardware. Now, if you go take pictures and video with this, you're going to like them. They're going to look good. There's nothing wrong with these 3 12 megapixel cameras. You got the 10 megapixel for the selfie. I've really enjoyed using the phone. I think it's worth the money. I've talked about this in other videos though. It is a lot of money. Right now may be the best time to consider buying one. I don't think the Z Fold 3 is going to be incredibly revolutionary, at least from what I'm seeing in the leaks and the information. It looks like they're going to add the stylus support, which is cool. That would make this like next level. And I said that about the Z Fold 2. I wish they had it here, but they had to work out the ultra thin glass because it's basically like a really, really thin layer of glass. It's almost like plastic. So it's not glass in the traditional sense, but it is more firm and more protective than just regular plastic. So if you use your fingernail real hard on here, if you get the stylus and use it over and over, yeah, you could create some creases in the screen. You don't want that. That's bad. That's bad. So they're trying to work on reinforcing the screen, get the S Pen support. That's going to take this phone to the next level. But if you don't care about the S Pen support, if you want a good phone that's very powerful, very good, very unique, very much the same experience almost every way, as opposed to what we're looking at with the future, you can get some good deals. You can trade in your other phones and get good specials with Samsung. There's a lot of stuff. And the way you mitigate your issues with these phones is you get the insurance. You can pay for the insurance, and then if something happens, you don't have to worry about it. So if you're going to buy a $2,000 phone that might be $1,200 now, might be $1,400, you can find these things used cheap. And that's another reason I haven't sold mine, because $2,000 plus tax, like $2,200, turn around, look at that 6 months later, these suckers are selling for $1,000 and $1,200 used. So I'm not going to take a $700, $800 loss on a phone within 6 months, and they plummet in value. So if you buy one of these things, you're married to it. Like, you're stuck with it. If this is one of those phones you think you're going to turn around and flip, you're in for a rude awakening, because these things are so expensive. Samsung throws in so much stuff and so many incentives, the price tanks like very quickly. So that's just some thoughts I have on it. I think that it's reliable enough. And if the phone is not reliable enough, I think the warranty process is. And there have been people that have reported issues on them, but by and large, it seems to be a pretty healthy and effective process that Samsung has to return them and get them fixed and patched back up again. So that was the biggest concern I had. What happens if it fails? Because they had financing on these things for like 4 years, I think, through Samsung. It's utterly ridiculous. You can finance this thing for like as long as a car. So you're paying like $40, $50 a month for like 2 years. Yeah, that's a long time to pay on a phone. I mean, if the phone's only supported for like 3 years and you got a phone that's going to last for 4 years that you're paying on, you're going to have outdated, unsupported hardware by the time you even pay the thing off. And then who knows what the advancements are over the course of 4 years in phones. That's like a lifetime. That's like 2 lifetimes. So those are some of the things. But I think the Fold 1 held up pretty well. It gave people confidence. It gave me enough confidence to go buy the Fold 2. I felt like the Fold 2 is probably the best software jump in a phone ever. I mean, they made so many key area improvements for reliability, for features, for cameras, for so much stuff. It just looked like such an appealing phone. And then they made the screen bigger on the front than on the first one, so it's much easier to type on. So if you're interested in getting one now, this might be the best time to get one, as opposed to a Z Fold 3 coming out, because that we know is probably going to be $2,000. The prices on these will drop even more once those come out. But here's the other thing. If you want to get a Z Fold 3, wait like 2 months after they come out and then try and shop around and find yourself a deal and save like $600. And that's the smart way to do it. If you're like the me way of doing it, you're going to buy it first day and then you're going to be stuck with this brick. You're stuck with the cow once you buy it. So it's one of those things. If you can be patient, if you have money, if you have options, you can really make it work in your favor and get it when somebody's going to offload one or take advantage of some trade specials or deals. And I think even with the Fold 2, there was like $1,000 trade-in value they had for when the phone came out. You could get like $1,000 if you traded in the original Fold. So I'll probably trade this in if they give me $1,000 for it, because that's more than I can get on resale, and then I'll get the Fold 3. Because, life goes on and I got to keep reviewing phones. But moral of the story with this phone is, I think the hardware is reliable enough we can put faith in it, at least in the return and the warranty process in case you need to get it fixed. That's the ultimate thing. If it's going to fail, at least have insurance or have the warranty to mitigate that and then get rid of it, before the warranty runs out. But then also, hopefully the price will come down over time. Within the first year after they come out, the price definitely goes down a lot. So then you've got it covered that way. So that's another option. Price will go down. Reliability is going up. And it's just such a great experience. There's nothing else like there. The Z Flip is cool. The Motorola Razr is cool. The Surface Duo, they all bring something to the table. This is the most functional, well thought out, foldable phone out on the market, at least widely mainstream available. People love this phone. I like it a lot. I think that it's totally worth the money. I think that if you want to pick one up, you're going to love it. Even now, on the verge of the Fold 3, like if you've waited this long though, maybe wait a little bit longer because those prices are going to go down even more as soon as that one hits the market. And that's just real talk there. Save you some money. But I have enough faith in the process that I think that if you want to get one and you can afford it, especially with the Generation 3 coming out, I think we're probably finally in a pretty good place when it comes to these phones. It's been a good test year over year. It seems like it's held up well enough. So durability, I think, is okay. Price, really expensive initially, but the price comes down quickly. Performance, top-notch. Cameras, really good. And the experience is really half of what you're paying for. And the experience is worth it. It really is a unique and special phone. So that's my thoughts on this 10 months later, taking a look at the phone. Hopefully it's been helpful if you're looking at one. Hopefully if you like the idea of the foldable phone concept and you want to get on the bleeding edge of technology, then this has been helpful for you. Or if you're on the fence and it's like, you know what, I'll hold out. Thank you for telling me that. That's why I make these videos. It's good to follow up long term and say, hey, this is what I think about it. I've been using this phone on and off for 10 months now. I've got some experience with it. So that's what I think. I do like the phone, very enjoyable. It's got the best honeymoon phase you could ask for. Like, you will wake up every day just excited to use this phone. And it's like nothing. Phones have been so boring. If you get an iPhone, you get a regular Samsung, you trade in the one, you get the one 2 years later. It's like the same experience, especially since they've got continuity with the OSs now for at least the last year or two models. So this one right here, like, you wake up next to it every day and you're like, I love you, phone. I can't wait to use you today. And that's probably one of the biggest sign-offs and stamps and seals of approval I can give this device. So, no lot of rambling in this one, but it's kind of intended to be that way. I know there's a lot here, but if you are interested in this phone, these are things that you want to hear. You don't want to hear somebody talk about, oh, the processor, the memory, all this stuff. Like, I like to talk about that stuff. I do that in reviews. I do that up front when they first come out to talk about what's there. But this one is a reflection back on my experience with it for the last year, what I think about it, and hopefully this has been a helpful video. So that's all I've got. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them down in the comment section. I'll get back with you. If you enjoy the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.